Welcome to Pitch in the Zone, a weekly get-together of coaches that meet once a week to help a presenter with a 3-minute pitch. Our coaches include Nathan Gold. He hails from San Francisco and specializes in high-stakes presentation coaching. We have Scotty Spurson, also from San Francisco, and her focus is presentation coaching with a twist on language. And Rick Pollack joins us from Boston, Massachusetts. Rick is a seasoned presentation skills trainer who has coached TEDx speakers and lots of different companies. Michael Marchak up in Chicago. Michael is a CTO, an author, and a speaker, and also an angel investor. So he brings a very unique point of view to our group here. And then finally, Massimo Peroncelli from Thailand, a serial entrepreneur with an unbelievable eye for details. So with that, let me introduce our presenter today. Wahid Kademi is joining us. He is returning for the third time to Pitch in the Zone, and I am all excited to see what kind of improvements Wahid has managed to incorporate into his pitch. Wahid, welcome back to Pitch in the Zone.
Hi. Thank you, Claudio.
And the audience is, like the last time for Wahid, the audience is investors. This is going to be an investor pitch, mostly targeted at early stage investors. And with that, Wahid, you're going to show us some slides. So please set up, and whenever you are ready, take it from there.
Okay. Do you have my slides?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Wahid, the founder of PYNE, a clean tech company. At PYNE, we are developing new game changer technologies to reduce emission from transportation industry, which is the #1 source of emission in the USA. After getting my PhDs in mechanical engineering and another in material science, and also working several years at automotive and truck industries, I came with a very practical solution. With our technology, an old or new truck could be transformed into a more efficient vehicles in one day. Right, only in one single day. To doing so, we are developing new intake and exhaust systems, which controlled by AI and could be implemented into trucks, mining, agricultural, and also construction vehicles. Moreover, the fleet owner could benefit our technologies by reducing their operating costs from the very first day. We have to protect our technologies. We have filed 3 provisional patents so far, and also in the last 18 months, we have designed, built, and tested many prototypes. Recently, we have made an MVP to demonstrate the performance of our technology from the intake systems, and also another MVP for F-150. At high level, unlike the EVs and CNGs, which need mega infrastructure and also are designed for the future vehicles, our technologies are very affordable and practical, which could be an immediate solution for more than 3 million trucks on the road. From the business side, right now we are focusing on a medium to mega size fleet. Also, as a future potential market, we are thinking of construction, agricultural, and mining vehicles, which are working at a very dusty environments. Beside of the economy, our environment is another big winner of our technologies. We all know and see every day on news that our planet is facing real danger. But the good news still is not too late. At PYNE, we do believe that we together can keep our planet green and our sky blue only if we work together. Right now, I'm looking for your help and support to expand the team and office to save our planet and make the truck industry more prosper. Thank you.
Wow. Very cool, very cool. Wahid, you are bringing a big, big smile onto my face, because if I compare this version to the version that you have shown the very, very first time, the progress is astonishing. Just to take it away up front, I really, really liked your conversational style and the pace that you had during the entire presentation. Really, really well done. So let me open the round of feedback today with Massimo. Massimo, what kind of feedback do you have for Wahid?
Yes, well, congratulations, because as Claudio said, it's really, really day and night, well, night and day. So it really improved a lot. And in every aspect, from the content to the slides to the presentation to information provided. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. That's all feedbacks.
Yeah, but it's really, really way better. So from my point of view, just some small things, like Michael already put in the chat, this slide with the EV, CNG, and the $3 million. I didn't really understand the whole meaning of that. It was kind of confused. And from a, let's say, graphical point of view, I did not like the fact that there was a dollar sign alone, and then on the other line, the immediate blah, 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 3 million. Okay, it didn't look, okay, just put it, either split it a different way or something. And it would be Scotty thing, but you said recently, I think, which was recently, I guess. It was the other accent. And in the last slide, I don't know if it's been done on purpose or not. You say we made the planet green and the sky blue, but the two hands, I mean, you have the blue hand and the green hand, so it's swapped, right? So I don't know if you did it on purpose or otherwise just put green and green and blue. It looks like more straight. Yeah, it was. I don't know if there's a reason for that, but it was confusing to my eyes, to see the different colors swapped. But yeah, it's just minor details. Thank you for coming back again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, minor details that can make a big, big difference. So I always appreciate that level of attention, Massimo. Thank you very much for pointing out these kind of things as well. They do make quite a difference. Moving on to Rick. Rick, what kind of feedback do you have for this vastly improved version of Wahid's pitch today?
I agree. It's vastly improved, and Wahid, I like the way you had it open now. This is the third time, but before, we suggested the opening slide with the truck, and then you started with that. But the comment was, put a title slide on. So now you've got a great title slide, the green and the blue. And I like what you did of showing the number one and the 1 day. I think that's a great contrast. Number one source of the emissions, 1 day to fix it. So I think that's very clear to the investors what you're doing, solving the problem, and that came right at the beginning. So we understood within the first 30 or 40 seconds what you were doing, the 1 day and the number one source. A couple things that you had there, I think that you still can improve. You had a slide around 2 minutes in where you had on the left of the slide, and it said the EV dollars takes years and then the 1 day. And I think that's really the meat of it, where it's the return on investment on that it's you can make sure that you can say that instead of waiting years for electric vehicles, we can do this within 1 day. So I think you can really emphasize that. That was kind of lost in the slide. Also, I saw EV and I had to think, what does EV stand for? And I said, oh, electric vehicle. You can say electric vehicle. I think that's going to help you. And also MVP. I said, what's MVP? You've got some abbreviations in there. You finished right on time with the 3 minutes. So I think you can, you can spell that out so people aren't clear, because while I was trying to think, what does EV stand for? I wasn't listening to you anymore. My brain was saying, what does that abbreviation stand for?
I
So
see.
any kind of abbreviation, unless it's really, really clear, just say electric vehicle instead of EV. If you've added maybe 1 second, but you people know that you're talking about electric vehicle is going to take years versus doing this in 1 day to cut the emissions. So I think you can focus more on that and the return on investment on that. Also, your last slide, you showed that logo again, the green and the blue, but then you had 3 bullets at the end, and which to me were, what your plans were. I would take those 3 bullets, put it on a separate slide before the end, just to say, this is what we're doing. This is our plan, the MVP, this is our investment, this is what we're going to do, and any call to action in there, what we want you to do, and then have your closing slide. Because I think I wasn't really clear on the call to action. I thought you kind of had it down there, but there was more of like 3 things that you were working on. I would put a slide before that with the things you're doing, and then the call to action, invest in us or whatever. They're understanding what you're doing. This is how much money we need, or this is what we can do, and then put in your closing slide.
I
So
see.
that would be the suggestion, but very much improved. And I'm ready to sign. So just tell me where to send the check.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this valuable feedback, Rick. And I think that's a very good catch with the 2 slides at the end instead of 1 slide, to just make it a little bit cleaner as you are exiting the presentation. Very, very good feedback. Moving on, Michael, you left a couple of comments in the chat box as usual, and especially the last one. So please take it from here.
Absolutely. So again, agree with everyone else. This has been a very much improved presentation. I really appreciate the work that you put in to be more conversational about what you're doing, and to be able to rearrange some of the way you're presenting the knowledge or the information. So it's really been good. A couple things, like Massimo mentioned earlier, that 1 slide I thought was very confusing. May need to rework the decades and 3 million, because I wasn't sure what that meant looking at it. And even when you explained it, it really didn't click all that well. So maybe to reemphasize whatever point you're trying to make there in a different way with maybe some different units on there. Second, the MVP slide that you had, they had the 2 engines next to it, and you had F-150. I think for American buyers, certainly they would equate that with the Ford F-150 pickup truck, but all of your imagery to date in there has been very large trucks, over the road trucks with diesel engines blowing smoke. So identifying the fact that the technology itself is applicable to both the big rig fleet owners, but through down to mid-sized delivery vehicles and even pickup trucks, which then people can understand, well, I have a construction company, or I understand construction companies who have a ton of pickup trucks, that this could be applicable there as well. That can really draw that in, that this is a very broad range technology. It doesn't just apply to over-the-road truck fleet owners, but can be used for the breadth of them. Because I mean, you think about Penske and Hertz, who rent moving trucks to the public, and the amount of trucks they have. This is a much larger ask to be able to go in and to retrofit all of those. It could be very, very good for you and for the business. So again, focusing that your fleet is not just over the road, but fleet includes down to pickup trucks as well, would be very, very helpful. And then, like Rick mentioned, that call to action. I like the fact that you added that to the end, what you're looking for, but I totally agree with him that needs to be more separate and a little more clear in terms of, I would like to have some funding for an office and people and stuff like that. It was clear that what your direction is, but I have no idea what you're looking for. We have, our next targets are this, we want to be able to hit this and this and this, and that's why we need funding for this first round to get to this point. Assuming there's going to be multiple rounds of funding in this, but understanding where those breakpoints are would be very helpful for folks as they're trying to evaluate where we are in the funding cycle and what you need to get to that next hurdle to get to the next round to help you scale. So overall, great presentation. I love the way it's transformed from the original presentation to now. Some more fine tuning to get it just right is going to be very helpful. But great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. And moving right along to Debbie. Debbie, you also made a comment, and I would like you to elaborate a little bit on that, because Pitch in the Zone is not only about the techniques themselves, but also helping other founders with tips and tricks and insights that they may not yet have. So Debbie, take it from here.
Oh, thank you, Claudio. I really enjoyed I had seen the other one before, and it really improved a lot. And I've been an environmentalist for like 45 years. So I'm always happy to see somebody trying to do something. So that's why I sent that link about Robert Downey Jr.'s Footprint Coalition, which I learned about. And so, that's kind of where I come from. I'm always looking for things, sustainability and all of the stuff. Recently with CES, there was a lot of stuff at the CES conference in Las Vegas about vehicles and all of that. So that might be another area you might want to take a peek at and read some of the latest things people were coming out in regards to, supply chain and trucks and all that. So that's what I would just say. I just read a lot every day, and I hope that sometimes I can share something that's useful to somebody else. But you did a great job. I really enjoyed the changes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. And just as a side note, Debbie is running a tremendously valuable website where you can find a lot of information like this. It's called techin.info. And make this part of your daily routine in the morning. Quickly check out all the latest news in the technology arena. Debbie is doing a great job aggregating this and making it available to the world. So have a look at that one. And moving on to Scotty and Nathan. And Scotty, Nathan, and I, we have had a session with Vahid in between his last time here at Pitch in the Zone and today. So Scotty did a lot of work around language, and I could see a clear improvement. I could hear a clear improvement with the language today. So Scotty, take it from here. First of all, pat yourself on the shoulder for a job already well done, and then add on to how can Vahid improve even more.
Vahid, it was really well done, very well done. I could hear more fluidity. It was easier to listen to overall, and therefore easier to follow what you were telling us. So that was very exciting for all of us to hear, but for me especially to hear. I think you could benefit also from adding a few more pauses in your speech. You had a few more seconds there, and with more pausing, it gives your audience more time to comprehend it. I don't know if you can see people nodding, like when we're pausing, including you. So it also gives you a little bit of time to get some feedback from your audience to see if something you said, may or may not have hit the mark. So it's a really good feedback mechanism for you. And I do agree with the ask. It really wasn't clear to me exactly what you were asking for. Like you're asking for funds, but I wasn't sure how, what the dollar amount was in the end. So a stronger, call to action would be helpful. And I also noticed that it looks like your personal Gmail is at the bottom of the slides. And I Googled PYNE just before you started, PYNE, and it comes up with something completely different than what you're doing, because it came up as PYNE.io, last minute search for me. So I don't know if you have a website yet, but if you don't, you might consider it, or, make that clearer, because I wasn't sure how I could see more about this technology while you were giving the presentation. Or if I wanted to look up more afterwards without contacting you, how do I get to it? So I think that's important. The other thing in terms of the delivery, there's still some key vocabulary words that you could work on, crisper pronunciation. I did find a few things a little bit halting because I was trying to look at the slides and hear what you were saying. And it wasn't quite as, it could be improved and a little bit more streamlined in terms of the pausing, delivery, and getting the stress point right, the majorly stressed syllable on your key vocabulary words. So I think you could benefit from a little bit more work around that, but such a vast improvement. I'm very proud of you. It's really a joy to listen to. So thank you. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. And thank you for like a valuable feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Scotty, as always. And that leaves us with Nathan. Nathan, what kind of feedback do you have for Wahid today?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think his smile tells it all. And that makes it just worth every week coming back and every time to work with you and people like you. Seeing you get to this point, I feel like your content is getting very close to the point where you have what you need to get the investor to ask you questions and perhaps even give you more time with the second meeting. So excellent work. From your first slide to your second slide, I feel like you need a moment in between where you told us about your PhD and so forth. Looking at the slide with the green truck felt a little bit premature to you introducing that part of who you are. So I recommend either start that part of the conversation before you click to slide 2 at the end of whatever you say on slide 1, or put another slide in there that helps you have that moment where you can make that break between your tech and the problem. I especially sorry?
Actually, that's exactly what I planned to do, but here I just pressed it click sooner.
Okay.
So that's a very good catch.
Okay, then you're on the right track. I especially liked how you spent maybe 7 seconds on the problem. That was outstanding. And I just wish more people would do that. I mean, we know you don't have to spend more time on that problem than you did. So well done from that point. Excellent work on your linguistic disfluency. It's almost disappeared. Almost. So super great work on that, and just keep that up. Your pacing, as Claudio and others have said, was excellent. And in the future, as you get even more comfortable with what you're saying, your enthusiasm and your passion and your more of that conversational tone will start coming from you. So I'm not worried about that at all. I would like to see whether or not there's a difference in the way you speak when you stand. So maybe next week, if we can arrange it so you can be standing, I'd like to see how you present that way, because we're all sitting, well, most people are sitting in this virtual world, but we don't normally sit in the live world. So I would like to see if there's any difference in how you present next time. Okay? But I'm so happy you prove one of the most important things about building any sort of a presentation, and that is iterating on it will generally make it better, especially when you have people like all of us on the line with your best interests at heart to help you make your thing better. So thank you for coming back, and we'll see you next week again.
Thank you very much. I'm really glad that I have all of you, your support, your feedback, and just make from the very first day to here. I'm really appreciate that.
And we appreciate you.
Absolutely. And again, I can only repeat what I said before. Wahid, you brought a huge smile onto my face, onto the other coaches' faces, as I could tell, because this is really, you're demonstrating what the value of Pitch in the Zone really is all about. And it is, of course, about improving technically. It's, of course, about improving and making your content flow naturally. But what it's most about, I believe, is to help you become more confident. And the more iterations you go through, the more confident and comfortable you become. And that clearly showed today in your relaxed style, with a smile on your face throughout the presentation. And that to me is a good sign that you have shed those insecurities and you are now approaching this from a totally different angle. And I look forward to next week. Feel free to hop on my calendar again in between, maybe next Monday, Tuesday, and we'll prepare you. And then I believe that you will be quite ready actually to go out into a wider world to test how your message resonates with the audiences out there. And with that, I want to thank all of the coaches. We have been doing this now for more than 1.5 years, and you are spending every week time helping presenters selflessly just by sharing your experience and your expertise. And that is something that I appreciate totally, and I know our presenters even more. So thank you all for spending your valuable time. And with that, I wish you a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we shall see each other again next week. Bye-bye.